Hey viewers, I just wanted to throw my 2 cents in on the whole what's being paid on YouTube going to mean. First, from a completely self-interested point of view, would I like to start making some money from doing this? Yes. Now, obliquely, I have, because I was, found on YouTube by the guys who made the Fizz, and I've been paid for doing some stuff on the Fizz, so therefore I've been paid. And I'll take a wild guess that I may well have already been paid more by the Fizz than I'd ever be paid by any click-through ad thing that's likely to be introduced on YouTube. I think that's the first thing people need to wrap their heads around. If anyone's got ideas of becoming filthy fabulous rich from YouTube, you probably ought to think again. I think it's possible some small number of people might make a reasonable amount of money. They might make a living, they might get comparatively rich. But the vast majority of people who take part in any payment system within YouTube are going to get a couple of cents, a couple bucks a month. That's how it works. That makes me think of something Warren25 Smash said in his video response to Blunty bringing this topic up. He basically said he thinks artists shouldn't really make lots of money. Traditionally, artists have been poor. Well, all the big artists you've heard of from the past have actually tended to have benefactors or patrons. And I honestly think that's pretty much the only way anyone's going to make a lot of money out of having done videos on YouTube. I don't think more than the tiniest handful of people will make a lot of money out of any clicking on ads on YouTube, but a few people might get recognised as possibly being of value to some other corporate entity and get some sort of job, whether it's presenting ads, TV shows, movie roles, whatever. So that's how I think the traditional role of artists might actually come into play with YouTube. Now, nobody knows exactly how the payment system with YouTube is going to work, because probably YouTube hasn't worked out all the fine details yet themselves. So while I don't know how YouTube's going to pay people, based on what Google have done with their pay-per-click ads and what some other video sites have done with payment, I think I can take an educated guess on a few things that are going to happen. One thing a few people seem to think is that it will mean pretty much anyone who puts a video up on YouTube stands to make some money. Let me tell you, not gonna happen. There's going to be some fairly heavy controls. I'd be willing to bet big money that some of the limitations will be you have to sign up, you have to use your real identity, and extremely likely any video submitted to be eligible for creator payments is going to be pre-screened by people at YouTube. This last one is logistically a bit hard, but hey, YouTube have lots of money, Google has lots of money, they can afford to pay a few people to sit there and watch a few thousand crap videos a day. Revver.com do that now. Now, I think the biggest problem with that approach is it doesn't scale very well, but with all the possible legal ramifications on things like copyright, obscenity, defamation, all that sort of thing, I hardly think there's a choice for YouTube in this matter. I really strongly suspect any video submitted to get paid for is going to be pre-screened. So, put simply, whatever payment system YouTube introduces, I'm willing to bet it won't be all that easy to be involved, and no one much is going to make a lot of money out of it. And on the topic of fraud, I'd just like to throw in, seeing as Blunty mentioned he thinks it would be required to really crack down on the fraud, and I just wish they would, because it annoys the bejesus out of me that the vast majority of YouTube's ranking systems are completely useless because of how easy they are to game. So I'd just like it fixed on principle. But in terms of having to fix it before introducing a payment system, I don't think they've got that much to worry. Mainly because you're not going to be paid based on the number of views or comments or how many subscribers you may or may not have. You're going to be paid based on clicks on ads. And yes, you can fake that. It's generally known as click fraud, and depending who you believe, it's a small or a big problem. Google say it's a small problem and they know how to deal with it. Some other people say it's a big problem. That remains to be seen, but like I said, I am convinced you'll have to sign up with your real details. So if you then indulge in click fraud, well, criminal fraud, you'd be taking your risks. Personally, I wouldn't do it, but hey, there's a lot of criminal-minded people out there, maybe it will be an issue. And just on the whole cheating thing, careful what you wish for. The whole idea of punishing people, suspending people, and really going down a long list of these things are all fraud and shouldn't be allowed. Personally, I don't agree with everything on Blunty 3000's list. Can you guess why? Because I've done some of them. Not fake views, not fake subscribers, not fake comments, but for a laugh, I have used misleading titles and tags just to see people's responses, and, you know, doing the little image in the middle to see who gets suckered. If you put a picture of a half-naked woman there, how many people tune in to see if they're going to get some porn? Personally, I just reckon that's funny rather than being serious fraud per se. But then again, I'm defending myself, so of course I'd say that's not a bad thing. Plus, it often sounds like a good idea to, you know, impose some more rules, penalties and restrictions because you're pissed off at people who are blatantly doing the wrong thing. And I'm really pissed off at the people who blatantly fake their statistics. But that can be pushed too far very easily. For instance, anyone who watches my videos regularly will know I reply to most of the comments I get. Now, I've had a couple of lunatics say, that's cheating. I'm artificially inflating the number of comments. You know, forgive the hell out of me if I actually want to respond to people who take the time to respond to me. So, in short, YouTube, money, meh, not that worried. Hell, yeah, I want money, but I really don't think I'm going to get it directly from YouTube, at least not any huge cascade of money. I think making any money out of what I do on YouTube is actually going to come from a sort of sideways direction. But hey, I'm perfectly willing to be proven wrong. Let's see what happens.